Good morning and welcome back to another episode of Hook and Good. We're out past our heads today fishing the reefs, just trying to see what big fish we can pick up, hopefully targeting some snapper, maybe a kingy if we're lucky. So we'll see how we go. So I'm just running filtered prawn on top. It feels quite small. Maybe baby flathead.
Flathead?
Yeah, it's not really biting at all.
Sorry?
Tiny.
On the board.
It wasn't long before a school of yakkers found our burley, which meant we dropped a line down and caught a few for live bait this trip and kept a heap to freeze for future trips.
So I've just got a live bait on at the moment, just making sure that I'm staying in contact with it, and then you'll feel a run if there's something hunting it, basically. So yeah, you kind of want to feel the panic, and hopefully your line will just go.
And 2 seconds later, Alex's rod did just that. It was an unreal battle, but unfortunately he had 30-pound braid and 30-pound leader, which meant the kingy took him under the reef and snapped him off.
Oh, Taylor.
Yakka.
That's alright, thank you.
Come on, Tate.
We had a good day out on the water. We ended up with quite a few yakkers, slimy, tailor, which will be great for bait next time. We also ended up with a few snapper and a flathead, which would be a good feed. So we've just headed back in now. We're fishing Paddy's channel, just trying to pick up some snapper. And as we speak, Alex just caught a flatty. Hell yeah.
With a very full esky bag, we decided to pack up, clean the boat and head back into the boat ramp.
Not a bad effort at all. Alrighty, welcome back. We are in the kitchen now and I'm going to show you guys how to fillet these fish. So we've just refrigerated these overnight. We have gutted them at the boat ramp already. So you can see here both the flathead and the snapper have been gutted. The reason for refrigerating them overnight, it does just make it a little bit easier when it comes to filleting. Personal preference, some people like to fillet them straight away, back at the boat ramp as well. I find it's just a little bit harder to handle them when they are slippery. I don't taste the difference personally, but when I do taste a difference with fish is when you brain spike them and you bleed them as soon as you catch them. So we've done all of the treatment, the brain spike and bleed to all of these fish, and I just find that tastes better. Again, personal preference, it's up to you, whatever you like. So we're gonna start with the blue spot. What we wanna do is go under that frame, but towards the back of his head so that we can get all of this meat here. So, harder than it sounds, we're just gonna cut in here towards the back and then just run our knife along there. And we're just gonna lift up his other wing and just go in towards his spine. All right, once you've reached that spine, you can see here that cut is in line with this spine bone here. Bring him onto his side, hold the wings that you've just cut and his head, And then what we're going to do is the angle of the knife is going to run this way, straight down. It is a bit tough. So basically what you want to do is there are a few bones that you kind of need to cut your way through, but just turn the knife this way and push down against the spine. And once you've made that incision, get a really good grip with the fish. Once you've made that first initial cut through these bones here that are a bit tough, you basically just want to glide the knife straight down his spine. Just run it back, try and not go through the spine, the actual spine. And my little trick is I like to keep the skin connected to a little bit of the tail there. Then what we're going to do is we're just going to make a small incision at the bottom of the tail and then run our knife back up against the flesh. But basically with that knife, we're just wanting to work it along the skin. So you can see here, just keep it in contact with the skin, but trying not to cut through, just wiggling your knife down. And then you'll get to the hard bit, which is the bones up the top here. With a strong knife, strong hand, just cut through. A good sharp knife will be able to cut through easily. And remembering we're trying to keep as much flesh as possible. So I just like to wrap the fish skin around my hand like this and just pull. But it's not bad. Then what we want to do, so you can see here that we've got a bit of a rib cage and the gut lining, as well as a bit of the bloodline here. But if you just flip your fish over, you can also feel where those spine bones start. So if you just run your finger up the fish backwards, I can see that that bone is starting there. So what you want to do is just cut either side, following the line of the spine bones. Just cutting down very gently, trying to get as much flesh as we can, and trying to separate those bones from the flesh. It's not very pleasant when you eat a fish and it's got bones in it. Alright, so there's one side clean of the bones. I've just got a few more up here. So you can see here, we've taken out the bones that were in that fillet. Chuck those away, they'll go into the burley bucket for next strip. And then as well, just feel for any bones you may have missed. Chuck them into that garbage bag. But we have one beautiful boneless fillet here. So we'll continue that on the other side. And another beautiful fillet. Still need to get the bones out of it, but we didn't leave much flesh on that skin at all, which is the aim of the game. So this guy, again, you could make a really nice bone broth out of that, but he's just going to go into our burley bucket for our next strip. Another nice boneless flathead fillet. All right, here we go. Snapper. So we want to pick up the wings, very similar to the flathead. And we just want to cut backwards towards the head of the fish, trying to cut as close to the head until we get to that spine. Same thing, hang on to the skin that's connected to the tail and just run our knife back up the opposite way to try and get all that nice flesh off. And there you have it. What I will do is get rid of that lining here, and there are a few bones within that lining as well. So that is as easy as cutting it out. And you can see here we've got a nice boneless snapper fillet. On to the next. And that is a wrap on filleting. But have a look at this. Snapper, flathead, all boneless, beautiful meat, awesome feed for the family. Get into it.